Okay, so here we have Playins Qualifier 6, and we're going to be looking at a game between Soulofdrgnfire and Trainraw. So first, we have Partying After Dark, Elves, coached by Soulofdrgnfire. This team got first place in REL 10B. And with a record of 8-3-0, so they didn't lose a game, which is pretty impressive. Let's have a look at their roster. So one thing that immediately stands out to me is just the sheer amount of dodge this team has. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Blodge or Rogers, as well as 2 additional players with dodge. He has an Agi 5 on a lineman, which is nice for picking up balls. He's got some wrestlers, which is good for taking down players that have block. He's got tackle, diving tackle, nice to stick it on something. 2 sidesteppers with Blodge, which are going to be really annoying. And he's got his mighty blow tackle to cause damage with. So a pretty solid team here. Should be a pretty good lineup for whatever he's facing, and let's have a look at what he's going to face. So we have a Chorf team coached by Trainraw. This team comes from G-Man 10E, where they came second place with a 6-4-1 record. And so we have a Blodge Bull, a Block Break Tackle Bull. Those are pretty nice bulls. 4 Guard, 1 Claw, 1 Mighty Blow. 1 Mighty Blow is a pretty low number on Chorfs for blockers, but I mean, it's an early team, so they haven't had the time to develop. A Strength 4 Block Surehands Hobgoblin. That's a pretty nice ball carrier. It's got a Dirty Player, which is good. And he's got everyone's favorite, the Chaos Dwarf Minotaur. And it's a good one, actually. It's got blocks, so it might actually hold up its value in the game. Though big guys tend to not hold their value very well. But anyways, it's a decent looking team. I like the Dirty Player. They have 1 bench, so hopefully they'll be able to use this. So let's look at the team values of the 2 teams and see what potential for inducements are. So 17-20, but this is with a big bank. So I'm not sure if he wants to carry this, trying to find something off the market, or whether he's going to drop a little bit of this. But, so if he does drop it, that's 110 off, so he'll be at 1610. And the Dark Elves are at 1590. So this is a really nice lean Dark Elf for all the strengths it has. Although they will be taking 1 loner, so that'll bump them up to 1660 for the 70k lineman. And, yeah, so 1660. Versus either 1720 or 1610. So if I was the Chaos Dwarfs, would definitely sink that bank. I mean, maybe just get an extra player. I mean, if you're going to be up, giving them a babe, the extra player could be useful. Get your fouling game on. With 100k in the bank, they could scum something if they wanted. So if they're getting that 50k inducements, then they could scum for a wizard, but we'll see whether he wants to try that or not. Okay, so let's just, we have about 4 minutes, I think, until the game goes live. And we'll see if we can get a co-caster in here, so checking around. My Soul said he'll ping me when they're heading into the game, so we'll be able to find that out. Let's just, I guess, go back to the teams and put them up on the screen again while we wait for this game to get started. Expect it to be about 5 or so minutes before we head into the game. Yeah, so some of the things that I didn't mention earlier, so that kick lineman could be very useful. Kestor's not exactly the fastest team. They do have the Bull Centaurs, which are very fast for a bash team, but if you can put the ball deep, they might not be able to get that ball back up to where the slow Chorfs are. The slow blockers. So, kick could definitely come in use in this game. And yeah, I mean, this is a very solid Dark Elf team. And from the Chaos Dwarf side, it looks like he has spent his money. I'm not sure on what. It looks like he's only gone up by 10k in team value from what I expected. So whether he dumped that into maybe his club. Okay, so he's got a Nuffle altar. I didn't look earlier to see whether that was bought or not. Maybe he dumped the money into that. And I believe that we're going to be in Soulofdrgnfire Stadium, so let's look to see whether they have anything. So we have the Squig Sandwich Kiosk in that one. Sounds like they're in inducements right now, so we should be able to get right into this game. So let's go find this. And let's start with this really cool Elf versus Chorf match. And maybe we'll get some dead Chorfs for Dwigs. We'll see. Okay, so it's not up here yet, but should be appearing soon. How's everyone doing? Enjoying the Playins so far? I've had a pretty good time watching some of the games so far. Today's Elf off this afternoon was pretty cool, so hopefully this one will live up to the same standards that one set. Oh, and I think, yep, here we are. So, game is now live. And let me make sure that I ping everyone in channel with this. So let's go stream announcements. Yeah, Harry's already got that for me. I'll just put the link so everyone can get it. The High Elves, yeah. It was a good game. Okay, so it looks like... Looks to me like the Dark Elves are on defense. Let's have a look at these inducements. So we've got a Babe coming out of the Chorfs side, who have also won the Fame. Is the sounds all good for everyone? I don't think I'm getting very many. Oh, there, I had my mute on. Okay, so we're seeing a asymmetric defensive setup here from the Dark Elves. And so this kind of a setup usually tries to force the play towards one side. Which means that, you know, you kind of kick it over to this side where most of the players are going to have to be forced over here if they want to make all their blocks on the line. And that way, if you get a blitz or some type of other defense, you can heavy push towards where the ball landed. And if you don't, then you're naturally funneling them towards the sidelines, which is pretty good because you have these Witch Elves, which are surfing threats. What is up with this? Am I... So I think they're actually playing, I'm just not catching up to them. Because nothing has moved. Oh, no, there he goes. So now it's the Chorfs' turn to set their players up. One Hobgoblin sitting off on the bench. This big crazy Minotaur dead center on the line. Anyone in chat, what do you guys think of the Chaos Dwarf Minotaur? Yay, nay? Do you like it? It is nice that it has block as its first skill up. Makes it a lot less of a liability in the game. So it looks like he is planning on carrying on this strength 4 sure hands Hobgoblin. Makes it a lot harder for the elves trying to sack him. Oh, Chorf Minnow. Why couldn't you be a Chaos Minotaur? And you could at least have mutations on normal rolls. Just the fact that you have to roll it a double to get Claw, that's what makes it not good. And people don't even take the Minnow on the Chaos teams, but yeah. If it definitely behaves, it's going to be a difficult piece to deal with for the Dark Elves. One thing that this Dark Elf team is really lacking is guard. They've only gotten one double on the team, and that went to putting Mighty Blow on the Splitzer, which I like. Because, you know, you want to get your attrition started. But, yeah, not rolling another guard up is pretty unlucky for this team. It's gotten quite a few levels on players, so... You know, maybe. First Chorf Minnow, yeah. That you've seen. I mean, maybe this one will be the deal breaker, right? So he's choosing to use the kick skill. And he puts it deep in the backfield. Unfortunately, the extra weather changing scattered it twice off the pitch, and now he gets a free handling of the ball. So that weather effect, pushing the ball off the pitch, is actually really big here. It means the Chorfs don't have to worry about being stuck with the ball at the back, and can now just focus on doing damage to this line. Minnow comes in, hits a loner, but doesn't break the armor. If he had Claw, he would have broken. And you definitely, on a normal Chaos Minotaur, would probably take Claw as your second skill rather than Guard. So there's the big punishment for not being able to get mutations on normal rolls. He would have had an armor break there. Fails to knock down either of the two other linemen, but comes in with a blitz. Comes in with a blitz to knock down the wrestler. It looks like he's just going to try and set a solid line, make it difficult for the elves to get towards him. Does have to be a little careful about elves coming around the back. First block. Assert dominance. And it's certainly a play you can make, right? Obviously, it's not the safest play, but at least it has block, right? So we're looking for a triple skull. It's the only way you get punished. Still, if it does happen, like, you really are punished with this asymmetric setup. A lot of these elves can just push through the few players you have over here and get towards that ball. So now we're going to see, how does Soulofdrgnfire want to set up his defense. And he's going to start by finding a blitz target, and it looks like his target he's picked is this guard blocker off by himself. It's a good choice. It's pretty easy to get 2 dice on this player, and you know, I mean, you got to hit them if you want to get some damage. Hey Chabzu, how is everyone doing? So coming in with the blitz with Mighty Blow. However, block means that he's going to be forced to stand here next to this Chorf. And he dodges off because he doesn't want to let his Mighty Blow get hit. Although now he's going to definitely need to put some players in to stop this easy block on this sidestepper, I think. We'll see what he wants to do. Yeah, big guys are exciting to watch. I mean, they either do amazing things or you sit there and laugh at how useless they are all game. Certainly having block makes him better. A big guy without block I really don't like. But big guys with block at least have their uses. This wall of strength here. You know, these 3 guys sandwiched between the 2 bigger players and then the guard. It's going to be really tough to try and bash this. So you're going to have to just stand in front of them for a bunch of turns. Try and, you know, halt their progress forwards and eventually hope that they make a mistake, overextend. Yeah, I think the Dark Elves are the favorite. It's a close one though. I do like his the players he has on his team. Interesting that he's stayed pretty heavy on this left side. He's giving up a lot of room to the Chorfs to move up this side of the pitch. So I don't know whether this is... It's probably intentional to try and get him to force the play towards the side rather than staying central. It's definitely one thing you can be... you can definitely do as a team that has Frenzy, is push your opponent towards the sidelines. Hope that they fall for the bait and then try and get some surf opportunities. You just got to be careful because it's pretty easy for this Minotaur to also do some surfing of his own. So if you push too heavily and get stuck on the sideline after trying to surf, you could get surfed back. So we'll have to see whether Trainra is taking this bait and moves up the sideline, or whether he opts to just, you know, move a little slower and keep it at least somewhat central. And when is he going to start getting his dirty player into the action? Like, He's got a bench. I mean, pretty nice to get this guy to start fouling, but it doesn't look like there's any target. Fouling a stunned loner is usually not the best of ideas. I agree, Harry Zord. The Dark Elves probably don't want this to go to overtime. The Chorfs definitely have the better attrition game plan. And the ball's not moving too far forward, so he's not trying to take too much space up this flank yet, which I think is pretty good for him. And now committing some more players over to this left-hand side to try and keep his blocker safe. This is a very interesting play here. He's pretty far spread. He doesn't really have a cage of the ball. So if an elf was to get behind him, not that it'd be easy, you'd have to go through quite a lot of tackle zones over here. Let's see if anything goes up. Yeah, so looking at best a -2 dodge in from this square to this square. Looks like Soul has decided to come around this back side and hit the dirty player. So this probably meaning that he values getting rid of the fouling ability of these Chorfs. And anytime you can hit an armor 7 with Mighty Blow, it's pretty nice. And now he's got 2 players assisting. So if he's able to... I think you'd have to commit quite a few more players if you wanted to hit this this Bull Centaur now. Right now this is a 1D from this corner. So he's going to have to put another player onto the bull in order to make this better. So now this is a pretty heavy commitment over on this left side. I think you guys are right that he's just saying to these Chorfs, look, I know you can score. I'm not putting my players in the way. But if you score now, you're going to be in trouble. Does not get the knockdown on the bull, which means it's going to be difficult for him to get 2 dice on this guard without putting 2 more players in base contact here. Which he will do, moving his wrestle in to this side, and they're going to move another player to here to get a 2 dice onto the guard. And he really is just moving completely out of the way of these Chorfs, saying, look, take all the space. I don't care if you move forwards. Eventually, I'm going to try and force you to score early. Certainly an interesting style to take this game. And does get the POW on the guard Chorf. Which means he's able to push the guard off to the side where it won't be helping this Bull Centaur. A lot of times when you're playing against a team that has a lot of guard, what you want to do is you want to separate the guard from the places where they can help their teammates. And then just screening off the back of his cage, of his area. So look at all this wide open space down here for the Chorfs to just say, oh, I'm just going to take it now. But if he does push too far forwards, then all of these fast elves come screaming back around. And when I say fast, I mean fast compared to these blockers, right? So it's definitely interesting seeing a game plan that you don't see very often. Finds a POW with Mighty Blow on the Blitzer with Sidestep. Committing to bashing through. And we have an armor break. I think that's the first armor break of the game. But because, you know, you have guard on these dwarves, you're now able to set up 1, 2, maybe even 3 hits here. Bull Centaur not able to POW the Blodger. Just stays put. Where is he going to put this ball? So my guess is he just puts it, stays in the middle here. Behind a solid line. You can definitely see that Soul is trying to bait him to pushing forwards and overextending, but he's not having any of it. Minnow behaves himself on a 4+. And this Chorf player is like, okay, you want to sit here? I'm just going to base all your players. Do something about it. This is not the type of game you want to get into against Chorfs when you're an elf team. It doesn't have any guard. If you had one guard, it would be a little better. Then you could maybe pick your spots and push through. But it's going to be difficult to see the Elves bashing through this line here. We're trying to see, where does this ball go? Basing a downed player with the ball. That's an interesting choice. Now, the down player is standing next to guard. So you'd need... So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strength, effectively. So you need 2 extra players on the back to even make this a 1D. If somehow you can push this guard dwarf off, though, then you only need 1 assist around the back to make this a 1D blitz. So this is what I would call a bold move, just sitting the ball right next to a player that's down on the ground and able to move on your next turn. For example, there's like no tackle over here, so this witch elf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 can make it. And if he got rowdy, he could even come through on this 3+. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No GFIs. Ooh. Okay, that's a big one. Finds a double skull on his first block. Probably means we're not going to be able to risk dice to get over and hit this ball carrier. Yeah, it's hard to say what players are thinking when they make a play like this, you know? Did they just not notice the player was not stunned? Did they think, oh, there's no way this guy can hit me, he's a loner? Trust me, you can definitely hit with a loner on the ball. Which retreats? So that to me indicates that he doesn't want to go for the ball hit. Dodges off the minnow. So now he's just going to use his dodge players to set back up. I would know something about that. I have plenty of these guys on my team. It's gonna be interesting to see what he chooses to do over here. Like, he can definitely disengage on 1 in 36 dodges. Where does he want to send them, though? Does he want to try and pressure around the back? Ooh, okay. So he's just really committing to hitting this dirty player again. Trying to remove it. But has failed to break armor 7 yet again with Mighty Blow. So he's definitely having a trouble doing what he wants to do back here with this dirty player. Stays basing the bull to keep a 2 dice opportunity. And with his tackle player, finds the stumbles on the dodge centaur. So he's still winning the scrum on this side of the pitch. And he's probably going to now, after making all these safer plays, dodge out from tackle. Mighty Blow's fake. I think so. He's definitely encouraging the Chorfs to block his way through this side. It might be a bait. We definitely know that Soul is a very capable coach. And a great dodge with the loner. So just dodge on a 3+. It's not bad. And now this forces the blitz almost onto this ball carrier rather than onto some of your squishier players on this side of the pitch. Which means it's going to be difficult to extricate the dirty player from being surrounded. So you might even just want to leave this dirty player sitting on the pitch floor. I don't think it's worth standing him up just to get hit by Mighty Blow again. Opts to blitz with the Bull Centaur. Does get the guy off the ball. And he's now got a pretty decent caging area here. I'm not sure what the Minnow wants to do, but Minnow, unlike a lot of the other big guys, is safe to just try and move. It doesn't work as often as the other guys, but he doesn't lose his tackle zones when he wild animals, which is pretty nice. And again, yeah, so he did keep this dirty player down on the ground, which is smart. I mean, you don't want to just stand up an 87 player to get hit the next turn. And Soul is still just, he's saying, like, you know, you can score. There's still plenty of time for me to score back. It's going to be interesting to see at what point during this half Soul wants to say, well, now I'm not okay with you scoring. If it was any other elf team, I'd say that point goes all the way up until turn 8. Like, you're usually okay getting 2 turns back. Dark Elves, not as passy as the other elf teams. Although this guy still has Agi 5, so passing is definitely an option. And a 2-turn definitely wouldn't be that difficult with this team. So now we see some Dark Elf linemen setting up a screen. Your classic elf type screen here. And so does this mean that he's gonna bail on trying to hit this people in the back? He'll probably still commit to at least hitting this bull once. Which will be one extra player based, hit it, and then you can start moving the rest of your players. And then the question is, who do you blitz? And it's probably this guy here. He's an important target. He's the only Mighty Blow tackle on your opponent's team. Yeah, okay, so base is to try and get this tackle hit on the bull. Does not succeed. Does he want to hit it again with the witch? He does. Right now it's a 1 into a 2. Push it to this square. And if you want to put any more than a 1 into a 2 on this, you're going to have to come around. Okay, so instead he opts to blitz with the Mighty Blow onto the thing. So now using your blitz on this bull. Doesn't get anything. And 1 short on breaking armor. And we've had some... Yeah, he's definitely been trying his plan out, trying to isolate some of these players off on this left side, get his Mighty Blow hits in every turn, but there's no damage so far, so it's not really working. And now as you see, he's retreating his players, trying to get more back in front of the way the ball is as the turns go on. That's to say, for a player that has a Chaos Dwarf Minotaur, been pretty reserved in how he's using it. Sees the nice blitz though and pushes this wrestle dodge player into contact with the bull, meaning that he gets a 2 into a 3. Moves the ball quite far forward. It's going to be hard to cover this back corner now. I think this is actually bad. If the bull turns over, then you're not going to be able to get this Chorf up here to protect this corner. And you're already looking at having to do GFIs. And because you didn't break armor, you've now completely blocked your path to protect this ball. So you now have to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're only having guard around the back. So 2 GFIs to even try to protect this ball. And so if you can't protect the ball, base everyone with tackle. And the bull dodges away from diving tackle. That's bold. I don't know whether he didn't see the diving tackle, but that's a 6+, essentially. Okay, so how do we get this? This guy's obviously going to be the recovery. This guy can be the assist. Maybe the switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be hard to get players around the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can definitely hit with your Wrestle Witch Question is, can you get an assist? And in order to get an assist, you need to get to one of these two squares. What if you cut corners with the witch? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you put the assist here, you can do 1 GFI for the hit from this angle by cutting this corner. So you're adding in an extra dodge or an extra GFI, whichever one you want to choose. So now the question is, can you put someone onto this square? This guy can't really dodge out. Yeah, I mean, he has recovery. Like, this Agi 5 guy can just... If you're pushing the ball and you get the knockdown this way, then falling in this direction, any of these 5 squares it falls to. Hey, thanks, Sir Nickley. Yeah, any of these 5 squares that the ball falls into, if it gets knocked down on this square here, I think are pretty decent for recovery options with this Agi player. The question is whether you can get this hit without using the Agi player. And I think in order to do that, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to spend a lot of GFIs this turn in order to get a hit on this ball. But I mean, the elf coach in me just thinks it's worth it, totally, to try and hit this ball, because it is kind of exposed. So make all your non-essential plays. Oh, okay, yeah, so he puts this as the assist, so he's not opting to use the Agi 5 for the recovery. So this is definitely a safer amount of rolls to put an assist on the ball. And the double GFI is the plan. First one fails. Succeeds, and gets the knockdown. An okay scatter. I wouldn't call this terrible for the elves. You definitely have the elves to kind of make this dwarf's job of protecting this ball difficult. I don't think you can pick it up yourself. Yeah, it'd be very difficult to pick the ball up yourself after having used the Agi 5 player. And now I just want to see these guys. Maybe this guy comes around back to tag this Chorf. Maybe he tags one of these upper Chorfs. Or is he just going to pile them all onto the ball? That's a pretty good idea too. So it comes to 6 to here. That's also no dice. And then this guy can dodge and come up to here. And I think he really wants to step forwards onto this ball. No, he's just going to opt to stay in front of the ball. It's an interesting choice. So, clear off the witch with a 2D. And then you can clear off this guy on the blitz. Because this Chorf at the back wasn't tagged by one of these guys, he can move. Because these Chorfs weren't tagged by anyone, they can also move. Yeah, I don't hate this at all. I think this is an interesting position to put the Chorfs into, and it's definitely going to take some ingenuity to get this out safely. But he definitely has the players to be able to do this. The problem is because he moved this guard before hitting the witch, he can't really make this hit with the bull without scattering the ball. And I don't think you want to scatter it in this case if you're the Chorfs. There are too many elves in the vicinity that it could go towards. Double marking the loner at the back? I mean, yeah, I guess so. You really couldn't reach anywhere else with that player. The only place you can hit this witch that doesn't put it onto the ball is with this guy here. But it looks like he's just trying to set up to hit the witch with as much strength as possible. So this, I believe, would be a 3-die. Does go to not hit onto the ball, so that's a good choice. Can blitz this guy off now. Then the problem is you have to make a dodge to try and pick up the ball. Because you're not able to use this guy to hit this guy. Ooh, and only a push there. I think you're forced into making this dodge to pick this ball up. Otherwise, all the elves have to do is come in, scatter the ball with a blitz, and then hope. Minnow stops behaving. That's a good sign for the Dark Elves. Now, what's he gonna do to the ball? My bet is he just dodges onto the ball, walks backwards. Ooh, I don't want to stand there, though. Okay. Not going for the ball. Okay, well, he's got a 2-die to scatter the ball. More importantly, if you stand here and you bring a sidestepper down, you have a 2-die this way. Into 1-die. That's not bad. 2-die with wrestle into 1-die to scatter the ball. Yeah, it's very brave not picking the ball up there. You have 2 rerolls. I don't hate just doing a 3+ dodge to try and pick it up. Okay, so we are seeing this play I saw. So, stand up, place here. Now you have a 2D to scatter. Gets the knockdown. Ball scatters in an amazing direction for the elves. That's probably the best possible scatter, other than landing in your hands and catching it. So I think that's definitely the best case scenario for Soul here. You have the dodge skill, you have Agi 5, you have movement 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, quick pass. Blodger runs down the field. Then you try and get this guy to stop. So you put tackle on him. And if you want, you can even 2-dice this bull off, so that your pickup isn't hard. You don't even have to dodge then. If this guy came around the back, and then you blitzed, But just goes for the dodge. Runs the way I thought he would. Now it's either a pass or a GFI. Same odds, so you just do the pass because it gives you SVP and it doesn't hurt your player if you fail. Ooh, but he fails the catch after failing the pass. So that's pretty unfortunate for Soul. Though he's still definitely in a great position here. And he still has time to get any of this player all the way down the pitch for a score. Can anyone else score? This guy. Let's count. So 1, 2, 3, and 13 is 16 squares, and he has 16 movements. This is double GFIs both turns to score with this player. This player also double GFIs both turns to score. She can't score. He can't score. So all of these players down here can't score. This guy, and this guy can. And the loader can. So if you're able to get this blitzer down onto the floor, you're definitely saving at least most of the chance of being scored against. Minnow has opened the way for the strength for Hobgoblin to come in, try and get to this ball. Will he want to do it with tackle? That's the question. Or with this bull centaur. The bull centaur is a good choice. Come in, hit with the bull centaur, run back the guy to pick it up, try and secure it in this middle here. Frees up the back bull centaur as well. We have 1-9 block. So now your back centaur can come in, blitz. Finds the POW. It's going to be difficult for the Elves to score now. They need double GFIs on both turns in order to score with 0 rerolls. So you've almost saved your drive now. You still haven't scored yourself, but it's looking unlikely for Soul to pull off the steal score. Which was looking very likely after that scatter. But 2 1s on the passing play. And that's what Dark Elves have, right? They don't have the pass skill. They don't have the catch skill. Sorry for the hiccup there. Tackle doing its job. Yeah, definitely found quite a few POWs this turn. Now the problem is you have to be able to score as these Chorfs. And this is turn 7, right? So where you stand is your scoring threats. Let's count these guys then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Max distance for this bull centaur. If you push this bull centaur backwards, he's not scoring. Then you have to rely on a Chorf to score. These are the only other players in scoring positions. So if you're Soul, you should be thinking, if I can push this bull centaur backwards, he's probably not being scored on. And since Soul's chances of scoring here are pretty low, it might be worth trying to push this bull back rather than going for the ball. Because you're not getting this ball. There's a lot of guard around it. Strength 4. You're going to be minus 2 dicing this Hobgoblin. So maybe with that unlucky catch, you now just have to change your expectations for the half to stop the Chorfs from scoring. Definitely giving it a good think through. I don't blame Soul for having a good hard think on what to do on this turn. Because like part of you wants to try and score, or at least set up a scoring threat. Looks like he's gonna opt for the screening choice. So just make a big screen of Elves, say, well, you can really only score on this bull or these blockers anyway. How are you gonna get through this big wall of players? And if that's the case, then who's he blitzing? He's probably blitzing here. Either of these two players, I think, are the blitz. So you have to remember that this bull has to move the full distance so he can go on this diagonal at best. So as long as your screen comes out to here, you're good. Just remember that the bull can blitz his way through and has break tackle, so you have to make the screen a little bit wider. I would feel best if my screen extended out to at least this sideline area. It's going to be difficult to get enough elves over there. Maybe some players in this area to stop the bull from being able to go this diagonal. He's really low on his turn timer. So I don't know whether that's my internet and I'm not catching his moves, or maybe they had to pause, or maybe he's just really thinking for a long time. No, he's just really thinking for a long time. Getting these extra moves in under the clock. That is some impressive last second moving. So how do you score as the Chaos Dwarves? So my bet is you're coming on this angle, the diagonal, all the way, which means you're hitting this guy out of the way. No, do you not? No, you don't need that, because your diagonal doesn't involve that guy at all. Okay, so you're hitting the witch. Why is the non-guard the one standing here? It should have been swapped, I think. So I think the play is you hand off, you blitz, dodge, go. Personally, I would have liked to have guard right here, so I can hit this witch with the Chorf rather than having to do it with the ball carrier. But then a block result actually gets in your way, so you kind of have to do it with the bull. Okay, hands off to the bull. Bull catches it. Gotta move this Chorf out of the way so you can run the diagonal. It'd be nice if this guy could have moved one more further. You can't stand there. You can't score if you stand there. Okay, moves him out of the way. Okay, well, OBS crashed at an awful time, so we rewinded the turn to catch you guys up with what just happened. So the handoff was successfully made. The Chorf moved out of the way of the play, and the bull goes for the blitz on the witch. Gets a push, which is good enough to leave him just a dodge and 3 GFIs. Uses break tackle and succeeds all 3 GFIs to score. Well, hopefully that makes up for the crash. You know, we get back into the game. So halftime, 1-0 to the Chorfs. Yeah, old Surehoof getting it in. Let's see if I can skip forwards a bit. Yeah, doesn't seem to let me skip. Okay. So we'll just be catching up to the play pretty quickly here. Chorfs setting up in their anti-1 turn. It's a pretty decent setup. See whether Soul thinks he can 1 turn on this. Definitely not easy. A lot of strength on the line, a lot of guard behind them. And since his best player is movement 7, he's going to need 4 pushes forwards in order to get this off. Now what might help him is that these players are pretty bunched in here, which means they can be used as, you don't have to fill as many gaps. Extra reroll going to the Chorfs, not that they need it. Entirely won by that cheerleader that he picked up. And it looks like Soul, I think, opted to not go for the 1 turn and instead set up for a riot. Decided that it would be too difficult to get the necessary pushes against this Chorf team. So he sets up to hit one of the guards and then gets a vanity pass. Not sure what all these extra players are doing. You don't get the SPP if it gets fumbled and caught by someone else. Manages to get his 1 SPP though. So now Chorfs get to set up for their actual defense. And while they're setting up, I'm going to quickly grab a drink. Okay, and now we're on to the elf setup. Let's see what Soul wants to do with his drive. It's gotta feel pretty bad having the steal score right there for you. Rolling 2 1s on it. Now he's got to recollect himself and get ready for this half. So the question is, does he want to try and take a long drive, score on turn 16 and take it to overtime? Or does he want to try and score quickly, turn over, and try and sack them for 2-1 in regular time? Both are options. He looks to be avoiding this front line completely. This kind of indicates to me that he wants to do a fast score. Quick snap for the Elves. And a decent kick. Right into where he wants it. Yeah, so he's going to disengage with these Chorfs completely. So this to me is definitely the looks of someone who wants to score fast. God. We'll see how he does this turn, though. Looks to me like he wants to put players downfield. Gonna Mighty Blow onto the Mighty Blow. Sends a scoring threat down on the right-hand side. Double push. Retreats his Mighty Blow. This is an OT format, yeah. So if the game is tied, they will go to overtime. And taking a quick look at the bracket, the team that whichever wins this game has to come up against is either going to be a necromantic team or an Amazon team. And I'm sure if it's the Amazons, then both of these teams actually wouldn't be too unhappy. They both have good tackle players, especially these two players and all the Chorfs, obviously. So he's got scoring threats on both sides of the pitch. Can screen off the Witch as a scoring threat as well. Witch not surfable because the Minotaur was moved one to the right. Successfully picks the ball up. Now the ball being over here means he's going to have to screen off this backside with the blitzer. And then maybe the Witch comes up here as another scoring threat. Or the Witch also just stays on this side, just to bolster the cage. It's also a good choice. God damn it. What is happening today? Oh, it's still live. Okay. My OBS is having all sorts of issues. Okay, how do the Chorfs stop this? So in order to stop this completely, you have to stop this guy. This witch, I believe, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, not in scoring range. Okay. So these two players are in scoring range. And this guy's in scoring range. He's marked up quite a few players already. He hasn't managed to get anyone in the way of this guy. This is gonna be like probably the player you have to worry about the most right now. Comes in for the minnow blitz. But is unable to stop this path. So it's a simple dodge, get him into the end zone, hand off to the switch, throw it up with the witch, and that's a good touchdown. So if Soul does want to score quickly, he's got his chance here. And you don't even have to risk anything, at least at the beginning. Like if this guy double ones a dodge, your ball is still safe back here. Maybe even just bring this loner back to cover a bit. There's no tackle here either. So this means that, you know, I mean, he's definitely thinking about it, but if he wants to score, it's definitely available to him. My internet is not working tonight greatly. Oh, it seems like we're still live. So nothing has happened on this turn yet. It's been a full 2 minutes of thinking. It's a pretty critical turn here. Dodges through some players, but he doesn't look like he's going for the end zone. Not sure what to think about that. Makes the handoff. And he's just going to try and cage the Witch Elf up in the back. Making good use of his sidestep here on the sidelines. He's opting for a turn 11 score then. It's interesting. I don't think this turn was any dicier than if he just went for the score. Any less dicey. Ooh, gets to hit the dirty player again. Really hates this dirty player. Has yet to break armor on it. In like 4 hits of Mighty Blow. And he's placed almost all of his elves now deep into the Chorf half. No, Chorfs are just gonna have to hit up some players. Maybe mess up this cage a bit. Definitely some chances here. To really put these Dark Elves into a hurt. It's the POW on the diving tackle. And the first removal of the game. It took 10 turns, but we finally got one. And a KO on the diving tackle blitzer. Puts him out. So now the Chaos Dwarf sees what else he can do on this turn to try and make this at least a difficult score. Minnow's able to get in there. Just pushes on this Wrestle Dodge player. Can try and tie up maybe some of these Elves in the middle so that he can't blitz off as easily. Yep. Ends up tying up all 3 of these Elves. So now still an easy 2 dice to just free her up for the score. Ah, now the bull is coming in to get in the way. Now the score's a lot harder. So how does Soulofdrgnfire extricate himself from this situation? Come on, internet. Oh, man. Well, sorry guys for the constant stuttering. Game will be going up. I have a video being recorded of it as well, so hopefully I won't have as many issues in that. What is with the internet tonight? Okay, so how does he get out of this? My idea is you dodge sidestepper into the end zone. Yeah, then you come out through this place here. So you back out, try and get it to this guy, or blitz a gap through here. Try to get it out here and pass it this way. So you still got some dice to make. This guy comes over and blitzes. Gets the pals he needs. Gets out of the way. Then this guy comes and gets out of the way. Your witch dodges backwards, gets it to this guy, who gets it to him. It's a nice path that he found out from this situation. And then you could just even just run it in with this guy. You don't even need to now pass it. This guy's in scoring range himself. Take your wrestle hit because you can. Maybe you'll get something. And you do. You get an injury. That's really big. The Apo saves him. And you even get to hit this guy as well. And now this makes it 1-1. And it's going to be up to Soul to see if he can keep the Chorfs out for the rest of the half, or if he can even steal and score to win it in his own. But that was expertly done by Soul to get out of that sticky situation there. So Soul is going to opt for a slightly more generic defense. Instead of the heavy slant, he's going to do a kind of a double longbow. Or just a protect 5, but slightly to the left. So your generic protect 5, but slightly slanted towards one side of the pitch. And we've got 6 turns for the Chorfs to try and win this game with a 2-1 grind. So definitely the ball is in their court. They have the opportunity here. Still holding a full team. We'll see whether Soul can try and bait him into some more misplays like that first half, or if we're going to see a more solid drive up the pitch from the Chorfs this time. Chorfs obviously setting up to hit as many people as they can on the line. It's a good choice. Perfect D for Soul. So this means he can move his players into less bad blocks. So moving them all over into this left side where only one Mighty Blow now can hit his players. I think I would switch these two. So the tackle Mighty Blow is not hitting the wrestler. A nice deep kick too. Especially if it lands back here on the sideline. It's going to be very difficult for him to save, get enough players into a defensive position. He's going to have to really retreat and give up a lot of his forward momentum. Especially with this aggressive placement on this left-hand side here by Soul. Definitely showing that he wants to win this game in this half. And the ball does land on the sidelines. This means that he'll need a GFI to even try to pick up the ball. Immediately covering the side is a good idea. Don't let the Elves get a free way through. No tackle on this hit means that the dodged guy is going to be in the tackle zones of even more players, messing our movement up. More importantly, means he won't be able to hit both of these players, I don't think, with 2 dies. This is only a 1 die. This is only a 1 die here. So he's going to need this bull to do something. Alright, really heavily committing to this line now, so there's not going to be many people back here with the ball to protect it. Probably going to see a blitz come around to here. Onto this blitzer. If he can free up one of these Chorfs. You can hit this way and hit here and free this claw Chorf up to do it. 1, 2, 3 hit. Potentially a choice. Opts for a 1 die. That's spicy. Then into a 2 die on this lineman with claw. Uses the minnow to try and free up this Chorf. Only gets pushes. But this Chorf is now free to do a blitz over here onto this blitzer. Oh, but a push is really bad. If he goes sideways, he can attempt to push through this guard and open up the line for the Witch Elf to get to the ball on a blitz. And that's a really good sidestep choice from Soul. I almost think you had to follow it up just to make this hit a little worse. Because now an assist stands here. Someone blocks off this assist, and then the Witch can come through this diagonal to try and get towards the ball. Makes the pickup. But he's so far back. Can't even reach this line on the next turn. And we could see maybe 2 or even 3 elves down the pitch interfering with this path on this turn. Unfortunate that other sidestep man's over here. He'd ideally be the one you want to place on this square. But it's just too many dice to really get there, so I don't think you do. Maybe just this wrestle player has to do it, but he needs a GFI. It's going to be the kicker, maybe? As the least important player that you put on this line here. I'd like to see him bust some players into this backfield. That'd really be a way to really take advantage of this quite poor handling of the perfect defense. I think if I was the Chorfs, I would try to at least retreat some players and stop the Elves from splitting my team. We'll see, though, whether Soul is able to get players through this line of Chorfs or not. Okay, kicker goes into the spot I was expecting. Wrestler fills in one of these 2 squares to stop this assist. Blitz through, run into the backfield, run into the backfield, run into the backfield, run into the backfield. 4 players in here. In a line like this, maybe. Along a diagonal here. And it's really going to cut this player off from where he can do anything. And if you're feeling bold, you 3-3-2 through. Ooh, Wrestle not filling in here. 1 dice. Oh, he's surfing. Okay. No, that is ballsy. Surfs the Chorf and gets players through. You can say it was definitely a play that was available to him. And he made full advantage of it. And now this Witch even gets to go 1, 2, 3, 4 more movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand over here. Really cut this diagonal off. Or even 1, 2, 3, 4, even further. If you're willing to take the dodge. Yeah, he just goes even further. Cut the diagonal even more. And this guy comes in and tries to get onto the ball. You haven't used your reroll yet, so you definitely have rerolls to play with to make this GFI. Makes the GFI, stands on the ball. so who else can get there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an okay spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's an okay spot. I'd have been interested to see if he was willing to cut that corner instead. Gives it tackle, but it's still a 2+. Opts to hit this Chorf on the side. And that opens a gap on this side to get through. Fails the GFI, so that's the first failed dice of the turn. Definitely gonna have to re-roll that. But now you can't risk another GFI. And fails a dodge from tackle. Okay. So how is the Chorf team getting out of this sticky situation? So the first bet is to put tackle on all these dodge players, I think. You really need a reroll back here, so you really don't want to roll any dice until you've made this dodge, because I don't think you're hitting this guy this turn. Dodge would be too difficult. You need a... I mean, you could try, but he's got sidestep still. You could try to dodge through here with the bull, but I don't think it's the play. So you're probably dodging this guy free. I'm trying to step up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. GFI. So this is where you're aiming to get the ball. I like trying to hit the witch. That's a good idea. Doesn't work though. So my next thing is to try and get a cage here. So you move this bull to like this back corner. Ooh. Bull marks here instead. I'm not sure how much I like that. We'll see though. Maybe this dirty player comes to here and you cage right here. This corner here. I mean, it's not really a full cage, but it's guard here. It's not the worst thing in the world. Makes the dodge. That was very scary. Problem is, you really gotta put this ball somewhere better than there. Because this witch elf is just 2 hit. And this witch elf over here, 2 GFI hit. Minnow tries to do something. Gets an armor break with just a stun. Bull Centaur finds a POW. And a break. That's a pretty big break. Where does this dirty player go? Yeah, I don't hate that spot. Okay. So you're definitely going to want to put players on this back. Probably 2 players. One on this square and one on either this one on this square. And then your witch comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hit. You only get 1 hit that way. I think it's the best you can do. You can free the witch up so you don't even have to dodge here. Does manage to get the Chorf off the witch. Gets him into that square. Haggy guy can come through and base on this square. Or the witch elf. Rather the Agi guy does it because then the witch elf is the scoring threat. Keeping this guy relevant. Seems smart. Dodging some more players in front. Yeah, someone marking this guy. 2/2 pluses from this guy can do it. And then you're not giving up your recovery and scoring threat. He's definitely trying it. Yep. Okay. So now the witch comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. First GFI fails. He needs to reroll. Double ones the GFI, that's pretty bad. And stuns the wrestle. That's a little unfortunate. And the ball isn't even base, so it can get some free progression up the pitch. Doesn't break armor on this witch, which is at least a good sign for Soul. Still gonna have at least one witch do something on the next turn with. Blitzer has dodge. It doesn't go down. Ball's probably just going to stay here. Up here in the front. He has to get it off this Blitzer, but still has his Blitz left. Probably come in with... No, it doesn't come in with tackle. Does it, though, from a good angle to get it off the ball. That's smart. Opts to stay tied to the bull, but not on tackle. It's a good choice. Where's this ball going to move to? Or is it just going to stay tight? I think staying where it is actually not the worst idea in the world. Hard to imagine anything but a -2 dice against this ball now. Bull makes a hit, knocks out a lineman. Bull definitely came to play today. And the stun on this blitzer now means that this bull centaur can come back and try and get involved with the play at least. Maybe you even move this Chorf to the left. Step up into the cage and use the bull to complete it with a single dodge. Break tackle. You still have to plan on moving the ball completely forwards in only 3 turns. Oh, stays where he is. Okay. Well, as I said earlier, I didn't think that staying was a bad idea. It's going to be really hard to get anything but a -2D. But with Wrestle, I'd take a -2D. How far can he go? So, one unfortunate thing is he's kind of like in his way over on this side. So you'd have to move this agility person first, which is really poor. You really want this guy to be a pickup. Maybe you move this witch first and you go through 2 tackle twice. No, that doesn't sound good. You really want to be doing this hit with Wrestle just because of the block on the hobgoblin. It makes actually succeeding the -2 dice a lot better odds if both down works. You really want this Wrestle to hit this guy's turn. Do that, or you just pull backwards, say, okay, I'm just going to set up defensively, take this to overtime. That might just be the safer play, honestly. He thinks that he can't get this ball loose at this point. Just to retreat all your players, get into your own half, consolidate, don't let them blitz you with these Chorfs. These Chorfs are basically out of the game at this point if you full retreat with all your players. So that's probably the safest play. But it looks like he's actually committing players. So I'm not sure how smart that is. He wants to win this in regular time, basically, is what he's saying. Setting up some chain pushing. Ooh, okay, no, this is sweet. So I didn't actually see this play, but this is sweet play. So he's chain pushing the hobgoblin backwards. You can now put the witch on this corner, get a 1D on him. That was a really nice play. Give kudos to Soul for seeing this. Dodge works, so he's now got a mark on the ball. He now has a 1D. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Wrestle, so it doesn't work. Stand up your loner. You really don't want this cow getting someone else. Or you just dodge him forwards, that's fine too. Where does the Agi lineman mark? Try to stay central, maybe? Moving back into, say, like this position. Obviously, the goal was to pick it up with the Agi after knocking him down on a 1D to here. Good restraint, though, in not using his reroll on the 1D. You're going to get a better shot at this ball, I think, next turn. Gets in there on the ball. So the Chorfs now, they have 3 turns to get the ball all the way down here. It's not looking very likely. Do they play for overtime? Do they try and just maximize damage while trying to keep the ball as safe as they can? Because if they push too hard, maybe they lose the ball. It pushes Mighty Blow away. Leaves a gap to get tackle in here. But it's only a 1D at this point. And you're only a 1D here as well. So this is probably going to be 1D City. If you can't get some good 1Ds, you're not getting this ball loose. I still think maybe the dodge is your best play. Try and consolidate in a square up here. Bull can break and blitz something. This guy can hit this guy. You have a relatively safe cage over here. As long as you're willing to commit your reroll to this dodge. Not the worst choice, I think. It's going to be really hard to flare all 3 of these tackles off of the ball carrier, I think. Comes in with the blitz on the Agi with Mighty Blow. And an injury. Looking at a miss next game. Will we see the Apo come out? Does not Apo it. Figures, well, the chances of it working are only 50-50. I'm trying to win this game. Uses the ball carrier to hit the witch. So it looks like he's staying put. Now the hard part is this wrestler is a real problem now. You have guard on both your players, but a -2D is not the worst case in the world. And he can clear off Chorfs first. Like this witch can hit this Chorf. If she gets a knockdown, that's an assist on the ball for this wrestler to come in and blitz. Only manages a push on the sidestepper. I expect him to sidestep left to get closer to the action, yep. And I do think we have to see a 1 dice coming out of this claw on the wrestle tackle. Well, obviously, do your safer plays first. Kicker is now free as a scoring threat and also as a marker. Does do the 1D and gets the POW. That's incredibly important. And a stun is going to be big too. Now we're looking at the witch being the one that has to do it. Okay, so this tackle can get in here and give the assist for the witch to do a 2-die. Then this guy can also come in here and give an assist maybe. And then you get a 2-die this way. And then with the wrestle as well. Sorry, 1D. This way. And then the wrestle maybe has a chance at something. But it's going to be difficult if she pushes here. V2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. Okay, so the mark I thought would happen. The POW she needed. The additional mark, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or are we going to try and come from the witch from this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or even if you do the 1D from this square, this way. Can we hit this guy on a 1D? A real push here would be amazing. Like a push this way would be really good for his chances. POW even better because it takes tackle off this dodge. Even opens up this way. Tries to jump up here instead. Okay. That was I think that was an okay shot. I think losing your wrestle for the turn, though, to not be able to wrestle on this guy is a big loss. So I think now at this point that you did that, I think your best chance is just coming in with the 1D. Definitely have to reroll it. Does get the POW, though. And pushes in a great direction. And the scatter is amazing. So now it's a naked 2+. Naked 2+ score. So 2 2+. Can you make 2 2+? Question mark. Rest of his players are exactly where they want to be, so this is really all that you have to do. And this is a game-winning play. If you make this 2 2+, you win the game, basically. Wastes a 1, dodging off of the bull. So I don't know if he's clairvoyant and he knew the 1 was coming, but there it is. Able to get the 1 out of the queue, essentially. Marks up another Chorf. Goes for it. 1's the dodge. And a stun. Okay, well, all's not lost. It's very difficult for the Chorfs to recover. Hobgoblin, unfortunately, was not stunned by the Mighty Blow hit. Yet another Hobgoblin that lived on armor breaks from this Mighty Blow. He was rolling really poorly on this guy. Pushes the tackle off. Can hit this 2 dice and then blitz to free up the so that the Hobgoblin doesn't have to make any dodges. That's probably smart. Make sure to bring his players that are out of the play back into it. Does manage to free the bull up. This even chains the Mighty Blow back into another claw hit. It's pretty impressive. Bull stepping backwards towards the ball to cover it a bit. Take 2 dice blocks before you pick up because they're safer, I think. You have 2 of them that are pretty important. Then you can also get this bull back, maybe, if this guy goes down. Yeah, and you do get a POW here. And you can pull this bull through the gap to come and cover from this witch. Make this witch's job harder. Finding all the knockdowns on this turn. And an injury on the Mighty Blow. This could be big. Another miss next game. This time he does use the Apothecary. So he will be able to have the Mighty Blow for the next game if he's able to win this one. And we'll have him for the overtime if it goes to overtime. I'd like to see this bull step back to in front of the... And I don't like that block. That block kind of doesn't do anything. I would have liked to move the bull first. Does not fail to pick up. Stands next to the Witch Elf. That is a ballsy move. Throws it to the bull. This is a play by someone who wants to win the game, and win the game it looks like he has. No elf can reach this ball. This is as good as done. How far does he have to go next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do at least one more GFI, I think, this turn, and it's all safe. No one can even base him. He hasn't used Sure Feet yet. One more, and he puts him in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is the game one on turn 16. No one can base him. It is absolutely over. So instead of trying to play safe, he threw the risky play, and it worked off big time. Old Sherhoof is going to take in his second touchdown of the game. And in impressive fashion, the Chaos Dwarfs have managed to weather the brutal onslaught that Dark Elves have put on them. To walk away somewhat lucky victors. All Soul can do to console himself is try and hurt some Chorfs and pick up some money. But even that is difficult. Salt saying his GG's probably in chat, commiserating over all the attempts he had to win the game, but just came up short. And with that, I don't think we see any vanity blocks in the back. I think you just run this straight in, take your win. Do not roll a quad skull to take this to overtime. Please just run this ball right into this end zone. If it's like any of the other Playin games, he's going to make blocks, but I don't think you should hit this point. I think anything but just walking in, saying your GGs is very greedy. And would hopefully be rightfully, deservedly punished with the quad skull. He doesn't go for it, makes the safe play, scores the touchdown, and wins the game. Congrats to Trainraw on a thoroughly impressive victory. Managing to pull through some very difficult situations that the Dark Elves put them in. And to Soulofdrgnfire, you played a great game as well. You can't really feel bad about the way you played that. So thanks to everyone who tuned in. I know there was a lot of technical difficulties tonight on the internet front. I was streaming fine yesterday, so I don't know what caused that. Hopefully they'll be fixed to the next time we stream. And yeah, if you guys are going to catch another one, hopefully I'll be casting either on my channel or as a co-host on someone else's some more Playin games this week. And we look forward to seeing those in the future. And that's me. So have a good night, guys. And there's still 2 more Playin games that were started half an hour and an hour after ours. So you should go give them some views. I believe Chabzu and Holes are streaming them. So I'm gonna raid Chabzu.